Let's dive in right into problem 4. Somewhere between points A and B there is a bridge. Kangbin and Kalie travel from points A and B towards each other at constant speeds and manage to meet each other after 3 hours on the bridge. If Kangbin's speed increased by 2 kilometers per hour and Kalie started 0.5 hour before Kangbin did, they will still be able to meet on the bridge. So what this is saying here is that one person's speed increased, but the other person who still has her normal speed is going 30 minutes earlier, so she has a head start. If Kangbin traveled by his normal speed and Kalie decreased 2 kilometers per hour, but still started 0.5 hours before Kangbin did, they still meet each other on the bridge. What is the distance between A and B? So here just want to clarify that A and B are not the two ends of a bridge, but the bridge is somewhere in between them. Okay, so first let's make this sketch. The type of problem that should come to your mind right now is where you're given different scenarios and then you have to create sketches of all of them and then you have to compare. So first we have point A and point B. Okay, I'm going with sort of a longer sketch right now. Okay, so A is here, B is here. So we're given two different scenarios in the problem, but what's really going on is three different scenarios. So our first one, I'm gonna write one here, is when they go at their normal speeds. So Kangbin, B is here, Kalie, L is here. So they go towards each other. And say this is the meeting point that they always have. So what's going on here is that so Kangbin goes over there. Kalie goes the other way and meets with him. Okay. Now that's just their normal speeds. Now this is number 2. If Kangbin increased by 2 kilometers per hour. So to represent that, I'll just write a quick 2 over plus 2 here to show that he increased his speed. And they still meet at the same spot, remember, so here. But what I'm going to do instead is make this double line to show that it was a increased speed. Alright, these keys really help you. So just identify one for yourself that works for you, and then you can really not get confused in the middle of a problem. Just be like to your sketch, what is this? So I'm going to write a curvy, wavy line for Kalie because she went 0.5 hours early. Oh, and speaking of 0.5 hours early, this is 3 hours. This is 3 hours. And then I'm going to do with a normal straight line because this is when Kangbin also started traveling. Now our final scenario, which is when Kalie decreased her speed by 2. So I'm just going to write a quick number 2, subtract 2 here. And then what happened was that, so she still has her 0.5 hour here. And just to clarify, I'm these two 0.5 hours because they are different speeds, right? Because for this next one, Kalie decreased her speed by 2 kilometers per hour. Doesn't mean that they're the same length, and honestly, the one below, is actually supposed to be shorter because she's going at a slower speed. But I'm just doing it in different directions so that you can understand that it's not the same. So Kangbin traveled by his normal speed, and they still meet at this point. And Kalie traveled at her decreased speed. Maybe we can let's also do a straight line for that. So they all meet at this point right here. So what is the distance between A and B? So this is the first step, drawing the sketch. Now what we do for this type of problem is we compare. So let's scroll down. All right, so let's first compare 1 and 2. So 1 and 2, let's compare them. So when we compare 1 and 2, we see that what we can get is that 3 of B is equal to 2.5 of B plus 2. Because why 2.5? Well, these two sections, let's first just look at this part. All right, this part. The number 1 and 2 till their meeting point on the right side. So here what we see is 3 hours. They first stop. I just want to clarify that they stop at the same time. They stop at the same spot. But Kalie had a 30-minute head start. So if this is 30 minutes and they stop at the same point and her speed was the same, it means that their time was also the same. So this part is 0.5 hours. This part would be, I'm going to do it in white, 2.5 hours as well. So that's where this 2.5 comes from. 2.5 hours as well. And here we have B plus 2 because remember, this is the part where Kalie had a head start. This is the part where both Kangbin started. Both she and he were walking. So this is the part. This would also be 2.5 hours. And remember, it was a plus 2 here, meaning that there's a plus 2 here as well. So this is what we get out of comparing number 1 and 2. So therefore, B is equal to 10. His speed, we know Kangbin's speed now. What about 1 and 3? If we compare 1 and 3, and why am I comparing 1 and 3? Well, because if we compare 2 and 3, 2 and 3 just have too many differences. If we compare 1 and 3, which is the original plus and the changed one, everything is much more simpler. There's less changes, and it's just overall easier to get the information we need out of. So 3.5 of Kalie's speed minus 2, remember, because she decreased her speed, results in Kalie's speed is 14 kilometers per hour. So what is the distance between A and B? Well, we know that it took them 3 hours. So 3 times 10 plus 3 times 14, we could just use the distributive property, is equal to 72. So our final answer would be 72 kilometers. This is our final answer.